so we have Kevin Gidney from Digital Mirror, Lukas Wawrla, did I do the surname right? Co-founder at Archlet, and Dheev Arulmani from Valdera. They're each going to be pitching to you 3 minutes each. Okay, I can ask you now to leave the stage. Apart from Kevin, who we have pitching first, let me just tell you a little bit about Kevin. So Kevin Gidney is the co-founder of Digital Mirror. It's a contract performance management solution that leverages AI. You have 3 minutes. Take it away.
Thank you. So we work in the contract performance management space. That is a fast-growing and new space that basically, when you look at what we do, we need to start and look at why we do it. And as Simon Sinek says, starting with the why is the best place to start. It is, however, slightly ironic because in the world of contract management, the why has sometimes been ducked. And it's been ducked for a long time, but not for much longer. You're probably all familiar with contract lifecycle management, which helps create and store contracts. And in practice, this has always been about what and how of contracts rather than the why. Let me explain what I mean. Legal teams use CLM to answer questions like what clauses are in my contracts, what legal risk, where are the indemnities, limitation of liabilities, and governing law, etc. These are all critical questions, but they're about what's on the page. They're not about what's happening in the business. So they're about protection of the business, not about the business performance itself. Let's not forget that every contract starts with a business reason. It starts with a need for why that contract was created, a goal for that contract. And that tends to get lost in the background. Contract performance management is about reconnecting the contract with the original business purpose and making sure it delivers on it. We go beyond just storing the contracts to ensuring that they fulfill the why in why they were signed, and also that they are delivering on the business outcomes. And if they're not, answer the questions, why not? Let me give you an example. Imagine you've negotiated a very favorable early payment discount. What you need to know is whether the actual finance team is using that early payment discount or whether they're leaving it on the table. That is what we call a value leak. So now we've talked about the why we're in contract performance. Let's explain how we can do that. We deliver performance insights into the contract value leakage. Value leakage occurs when the value realized over the life of the contract is lower than the value that was agreed. Value leakage comes in many forms. Missed opportunities to claim early payment discounts, uncontrolled contracts resulting in automatic price increases, and visibility into those contracts that can be cancelled. We obtain insights into contract value leakage by starting with better questions.
Your 3 minutes is up. I have to cut you off. Thank you so much, Kevin.
That's hard to do in 3 minutes.
There you go. I feel like I'm in Shark Tank. Okay, well done, Kevin. Next up, we have Lukas Wawrla, if you'd like to come up onto the stage. Lukas is co-founder at Archlet. It's a user-centric strategic sourcing platform that uses AI and scenario modeling to simplify procurement. He's going to have 3 minutes to talk to you about his startup concept.
How did you get to DPW today? Did you use one of these super old-fashioned street maps, or even worse, one of these? I guess not. You've all used Google Maps to actually find your way here. In other words, you were guided by smart algorithms, sometimes even through autonomous cars. Now, in eSourcing specifically, running an RFP usually feels like using one of these old-fashioned street maps, and this is what we want to change. Hi everyone, I'm Lukas, I'm one of the founders of Archlet, and today I show you how we elevate your sourcing experience from a physical street map to a Google Maps or autonomous car experience. But first, let's take a step back. Let's assume we have a demand, you run an RFP, you collect offers from different suppliers, And sooner or later, you need to ask your question, how do I decide with whom do I want to work with? That sounds easier than it actually is, because you have to juggle internal business constraints. You need to align business stakeholders. You need to make sure you address savings, risk, and sustainability. And that's all error-prone, person-dependent, and very inefficient. And the worst thing, it's done in Excel spreadsheets. And that's exactly why we have founded Archlet. We are making eSourcing and e-auction effortless by applying smart guidance and automation. Our AI agent Spark actually guides you through the whole process, just like a very smart team member. For complex RFPs, we apply intelligent guidance to reduce complexity. For simpler ones in the tactical area, we actually drive automation. Let's get more concrete. Archlet Spark is able to fully autonomously create your RFP, just upload all your documents, and we will do the rest for you. In addition, if you ever have worried that you don't know how to best launch an e-auction, worry no more. Archlet Spark actually recommends for which items and for what type of e-auctions are the most suitable for your RFP as a last round, driving savings and also efficiencies. And last but not least, we're democratizing sourcing optimization by enabling buyers to create text-based scenarios. No coding, no formulas, super easy. We have proven that we can scale and adopt it as shown with PepsiCo, but we also work with Walmart and are able to drive efficiencies. We have more than 50 clients. If you want to know how this actually works, stop us at our booth, S15, we're just around the corner. Either come by for a demo of Archlet Spark or just grab some Swiss chocolate. If you have signed up for our side event tonight, we will have more time to talk. And a personal note, I'm moving to Philadelphia, so if you have tips and tricks how to survive in Philly, let me know as well. Thank you so much for your attention and enjoy the event.
Well done. Great stuff. There was 7 seconds to spare. Well done. Next up, we have Dheev Arulmani from Valdera. Valdera is an AI-powered sourcing platform for the procurement of chemicals and raw materials, and he's got 3 minutes. He's going to pitch his startup.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dheev Arulmani, co-founder of Valdera. Excited to share more about the world of sourcing chemicals. For those of you in the audience that are manufacturers, I'm sure each of you is facing the unique challenge of sourcing raw materials, particularly in today's raw material environment. There are a lot of fantastic technologies here today when it comes to indirects, or even on the direct side when it comes to sourcing finished goods like pipes or fittings or equipment. But what we realize is that chemicals are a whole different beast, right? There's an infinite permutation of different specifications, different chemical structures, hundreds of different properties, different safety and hazardous requirements. In order to be effective at sourcing chemicals, you have to build the data infrastructure and AI from the ground up for this industry. That was really the inspiration behind Valdera. Our vision is to partner directly with procurement organizations like yourselves to help digitize that sourcing workflow all the way from supplier discovery and market intelligence, all the way through qualification of a supplier. In essence, the way that our platform works is that we ingest a very specific request for a raw material. What are the chemical specifications? What are the logistics? What are the certifications that you need? Where we have invested our millions is in this AI matching engine that takes that individual request and routes it to any supplier in the world that we think can meet those specifications. As these quotes start coming back, we help normalize the logistics, costs, the tariffs, the specs, all in one place, so you can use that market intelligence to say, hey, we're going to go qualify and onboard this supplier, or we're going to go and use this data to negotiate with our existing supply base. If you think about the generic LLMs today, the challenge with these models is that they fundamentally don't work for chemicals because they're only as good as the data they're trained on. Sadly, there is no public data set for chemical specifications. So what we have done is gone out and built our own AI model and trained it on our proprietary data set of chemical specifications that we have amassed over the last 5 years. Through this model, we've been able to map around 400,000 suppliers globally, covering 1.7 million cast numbers of chemicals, including many of the suppliers here that are actively participating with Valdera. For any request that's being flown through Valdera, we're routing to about 50 suppliers, generating about 10 quotes, and across our customer base, we're seeing an average of 14% savings. But if you were to ask any one of our customers, they would argue that the bigger value is not just in the savings, but from a lot of the other strategic levers around sustainability, new product innovation, and most importantly, security of supply. If chemicals are a hot topic for you, please swing by our booth. Would love to chat more. Thanks for the time.
Well done. Fantastic stuff. Done it with 9 seconds to spare. Round of applause, please, for all of our startups that pitched.